9 teachers are about to engage in a classic battle of knowledge and strategy. Over the next 5 days, they will demonstrate their knowledge as they compete for thousands of dollars in cash awards. And it all takes place right here on The Challengers. And now, here is your master of the challenge, Dick Clark.
Thank you very much, Don Morrow, and welcome to the Challengers. Today marks the beginning of our 5-day special Challengers Teachers Tournament. Standing before you are the 9 teachers who will compete in our contest. We'll play 3 semifinal matches this week. The 3 winners will then advance to the finals, which will be played on Thursday and Friday. Of course, everybody keeps the money they earn, and the champion will win an additional bonus of $10,000. Going to be a good one. Thank you, folks, very much. We'll see you later on in the week, and we'll look forward to it. Now, if everybody's all set and ready to go, let's play our first match. And, Don, if you will, please introduce our first 3 players.
Dick, here's an assistant principal whose interests include art and history. Let's greet Adela Ravitch. And here's a math teacher from Claremont, California. He likes to cook medieval recipes. Let's greet Lance Shina. And meet a 6th grade teacher from Bakersfield, California. She enjoys playing all types of games. Say hello to Cheryl Ann Farley.
All right, welcome aboard, good people. In just a moment, I'll reveal the categories for our first half of play. But first, let's play the Challenger sprint round for control. And this is the way it works. We'll set a timer for 1 minute, and during that time period, I'll toss out as many questions as the time permits. You'll get $100 for a correct answer, and we'll take away $100 if you're wrong. The player with the most money when the time runs out will have the first selection from the category board. And for each of you, we've opened your own personal Citibank Visa account. Every dollar you earn in the game today will be deposited to your account, and the money and the benefits that go with that account are yours to keep. If you're all set and ready to play, let's set that timer at 1 minute. And we'll begin right now. Who wrote the bestseller, The Godfather? Adela.
Mario Puzo.
Right, in the movie version of The Godfather, who played Don Vito Corleone? Lance.
Marlon Brando.
Correct. Marlon Brando does a takeoff of his Godfather. Yes, Lance.
I don't know.
Adela.
The Freshman.
The Freshman is right, in the 1990 film. Here's a math problem. What is x if x squared is 16? Lance.
4 or -4.
That is correct. You're reading the best-selling book, A Brief History of Time. Name the author, Cheryl Ann.
Stephen Hawking.
Hawkins is right. Name the French chemist who first developed the cure for rabies. Adela.
Louis Pasteur.
Correct. What 2 letters do chemists give to the deadly gas carbon monoxide? Lance.
CO.
Correct. What is the common translation of Julius Caesar's line, Veni Vidi Vici? Lance.
I came, I saw, I conquered.
Correct. Your cafeteria is serving hamburgers, which are named after a city in what country? Cheryl Ann.
Germany.
Right. Hannibal Hamlin was Abe Lincoln's first vice president. Who was his second? Lance.
Andrew Johnson.
That's right, and time is up. And boy, oh boy, was that a fast round. I got to carry Cheryl Ann. I bobbled your name a couple of times. I'll get it before the half hour's over. Lance, you're out in front with $400. Adela, you're in with 3. Cheryl Ann, you're there with $200. It's all set and ready to go with the first half, and this is the way we play. You'll be outmaneuvering and outguessing each other for the right to answer the questions that'll appear on our video wall. We'll play 2 halves, and then we'll move to our final challenge round, where we will determine today's winner. You all look like you're ready and anxious, so I won't take up any more time. If you're ready, take a look at the categories we have up for play. We have soap operas, folklore, food specialties, Steven Spielberg movies, The Wild West, and Presidents on the Gridiron. And Lance, you have control of the game. Where do you want to start?
I'll start with the Wild West.
The Wild West it is. Let's check out the questions. They'll range from $150 on. The first one is about lawmen for $150. The second, outlaws for $200. And the third, cowboys for $250. The higher the dollar value at the top of the question. Select the one you'd like to play and place your wager. All right, let's see. Adela, you going to get in there? Okay, we have 2 outlaws and 1 lawman. We'll start with you, Cheryl Ann. The lawman, Bat Masterson, was deputy marshal of a legendary Kansas cow town. Name it.
Tombstone.
No, ma'am, it was not. It was, Adela?
Dodge City.
Dodge City is right. You can't play in that particular... I'm sorry. You can't play in that particular round because you're facing off against Lance. I got all shook up. You were in there with your button and ready to go. Cheryl Ann, you've dropped down, but we'll fix that later on and give you another chance. Step up to the challenge now for $200. The date is April 3rd, 1882. You're at home when a man named Robert Ford shoots you in the back. Yes, Lance.
You are Wild Bill Hickok.
No, sir. Now, Adela, you can take that or you can leave it. Do you want to answer?
Jesse James.
Jesse James is right. You picked up the $200. Congratulations. You have control of the game. Let's move over here to the remaining subjects and select one, if you will.
Soap operas, please.
Soap operas. All right, let's see what questions we have in store. There you go from number one, which is musical themes, to plot twists, to soaps down the drain. $150 to $250. Select the one you want to play and make your bet right now. Two of you are going for the soaps down the drain. Cheryl Ann will start with you with musical themes for $150. The Young and Restless shares the name of its theme song with a Romanian gymnast. Name the gymnast.
Nadia Comaneci.
Yeah, you don't have to ring in. You're all by yourself on that one. Now you folks, if you will, step up and grab a hold of that buzzer. And for $250, before it was canceled, a 1960s soap opera had all the right elements. Love, divorce, intrigue, and a vampire named Bart. Yes, Lance is in there before the question.
Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows is it. All we wanted you to do was name it. You got control. Congratulations. And we'll be back in just a moment to continue our game right here on the Challengers. Don't you dare go away. Welcome back. Adela, we all know that you all teach. How long have you been at that?
I've been at it 22 years.
I read in my research, Lance, that you are a chef of some kind. You specialize in medieval cooking?
Yeah, you can get a hold of the recipes from the library.
What's a good one?
Well, there's one I like. It's a onion soup recipe where it's onions and ground almonds, but it also requires about 2 quarts of white wine. So that'll taste
Sounds
good.
like a jolly good evening.
Yeah.
Cheryl Ann, where did I read? Somebody told me you had dinner with the president. Was it just the two of you?
No, not exactly. I had won a teaching award from the American Bar Association, and they sent me to Washington and gave me the grand tour. It was great.
Oh, lovely. A few hundred people in attendance?
Just a few.
An intimate little group now? All right, let's see where we all stand. Adela, you've got $500. Lance, you have $450. Cheryl Ann, you're trailing, but that doesn't mean a heck of a lot at this point. That can change overnight. And Lance, you're in control of the game, so let's jump back there and see what we have. Folklore, food specialties, Steven Spielberg movies, Presidents on the Gridiron. What's your pleasure?
I guess I'll go with food specialties.
Food specialties. That seems logical since we were just talking about it. The questions, first one out is food for Frenchmen. The next one, food for the gods. And the last one, food for thought. The higher the value of the question, the tougher one. Select the one you want and gamble right now. There we go. It seems to be everybody trying across the board. And we'll start with food for Frenchmen with you, Cheryl Ann. In a French restaurant, what kind of animal would you be ordering if you asked for escargot?
Snail.
That's right. And Lance, for $200, according to Greek mythology, the gods remained immortal by eating a special food. Name it.
Ambrosia.
You are right, sir. For $250, Adela, a thought-provoking slogan of the 1984 Mondale presidential campaign was first heard in a Wendy's hamburger commercial. What was that 3-word slogan?
Where's the beef?
You got it. All right. Adela? You've taken over control of the game. Which of the last 3 would you like to play?
Let's go with Steven Spielberg movies.
All right, the questions for $150. First one is E.T. The next one deals with Jaws. And the last one for $250, The Color Purple. Select the one you want to play and wager, if you will. All right, 2 Jaws questions there. Cheryl Ann and Adela, hold on for a second. We'll do this one with Lance first for $150. In his film E.T., what did those initials mean to Steven Spielberg?
Extraterrestrial.
You are right, sir, for $150. Adela and Cheryl Ann step up to the challenge for $200. In Spielberg's mega hit Jaws, a man-eating shark terrorized the good folks of what seaside town? Adela?
Cape Cod.
No, ma'am. Do you want to try it, Cheryl Ann, or leave it? It was Amity. Amity was the correct answer. Lance, you still hold control. Which of the last 2?
Folklore.
All right. The questions, starting with, first of all, number 1 for $150, Ancient Rome. $200 question on Old England. And America for $250. Select and wager, if you will. All right, we've got 2 on America, 1 on Ancient Rome, and Lance will start with you for $150. Legend has it that ancient Rome was founded by twin boys, Romulus and Remus. They were nursed in infancy by what kind of wild animal?
Some kind of wolf.
That's right, a she-wolf. We'll take that answer, and you picked up $150. Ladies, step up to the challenge for $250. Lumberjack Paul Bunyan carved out the Grand Canyon. Not to be outdone, Pecos Bill dug out a large river whose name means Big River. Name it. Cheryl Ann.
Rio Grande?
The Rio Grande is right, and you've picked up $250. And we're going to take a little break in the action. We'll be back in just a moment to play the second half of the game, and when we do, we're going to double the value of all of our questions. We'll be right back.
News and current events questions are verified by Newsweek magazine. And now, back to the Challengers.
Thank you, Don, very much, and welcome back. Let's check the players' accounts here. Lance, you're out in front with $950, followed by Cheryl Ann with $600. Adela, you're at $550. It's a close race. You have control of the game, Cheryl Ann, so we'll turn to the board, and I want to remind you in the second half of play, we'll double the value of all of our questions. There are 6 categories we'll be playing with, and here they are. First one is Queen. Next one, Seeing Red, Gilbert and Sullivan, The Numbers Game, Famous Monks, and America at War. If you will, please select one, Cheryl Ann.
Let's do Famous Monks.
Famous Monks. All right, let's see what questions we have in store under that category. At $300, St. Francis. At $4, Gregor Mendel. And at $500, Thelonious Monk. All right. If you will, select the one you'd like to wager on and place your bet. All right, 2 of you are going for Gregor Mendel at $400. Thelonious will be the holdout for Adela. Lance and Cheryl Ann step up to the $400 challenge. An Austrian monk named Gregor Mendel discovered many of the basic laws of heredity, which, I beg your pardon, let me start again so not to confuse you. An Austrian monk named Gregor Mendel discovered many of the basic laws of heredity, one of which states that genes are either dominant or, Cheryl Ann?
Recessive.
Recessive is correct. I'm sorry for bottling that. You got it right in any case. Adela, you got the $500 question here. And jazzman Thelonious Monk wrote a song that shares its title with a 1986 film starring saxophonist Dexter Gordon. Name the film, and you name the song.
Around Midnight.
You're right. You got it. Herbie Hancock won an Oscar for the film score. You've taken over control of the game. Of the remaining 5, which one would you like to play, Adela?
Gilbert and Sullivan, please.
Gilbert and Sullivan. Let's see what kind of questions we have in store for you there. First one for $300, the Pirates of Penzance. The $400 question, HMS Pinafore. And the last one, the Mikado for $500. Please select and wager. All right, across the board, everybody, we got all different kinds of answers, so everybody gets to play this time. Cheryl Ann, we'll start with you with the Pirates of Penzance. In 1981, the Pirates of Penzance was revived on Broadway, starring a major pop singer. Name her.
Linda Ronstadt.
That's right, for $300. Lance, for $400. According to a comic song in the operetta, if you want to become the ruler of the Queen's Navy, never go to where?
Never go to sea.
Never go to sea is right. And dealing with the Mikado, in the Mikado, Adela, a character named Coco sings that he's got a little list of criminals to be punished. What is Coco's official 3-word job title?
Lord High Executioner.
You got it. That's right. You maintain control. Hold on to the lead. Hold on to the control. Queen, Seeing Red, the Numbers Game, America at War. What's your pleasure?
Seeing Red.
Seeing Red it is. The questions deal with, first of all, Castro, Chairman Mao, and Lenin, all Seeing Red. All right? Place your wager. 2 Lenins in there, and 1 Castro. We'll turn first of all to Adela for $300. The question on Fidel Castro. His right-hand man was a revolutionary who was finally killed by Bolivian troops in 1967. Name him.
Che Guevara.
You are right for $300. Step up to the challenge, Lance and Cheryl Ann. We've got a $500 question on Lenin. The word used by Lenin to describe his followers means... Lance?
Bolshevik.
Means majority in Russian, and you got it. Lance, you got control? Which one of these last 3?
The Numbers Game.
The Numbers Game. Let's check the questions. What we have there, first is athletic numbers, followed by movie numbers, and the last one, political numbers. Please select one and place your wager. All right, political numbers is the holdout. Ladies, you're in there for $400. Step up to the challenge. And for $400, give me the total number if you add Jack Nicholson's Easy Pieces to is the number that flew over the cuckoo's nest? Cheryl Ann.
6.
6 is right. 5 easy pieces. 1 flew over the cuckoo's nest. And Lance, for $500, give me the total if you add the number of amendments in the Bill of Rights to the numerical address of the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue.
1610.
You are right. 1610. 10 amendments. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Lance, you've got control still. Let's see if we got up there. Queens and America at War. What's your pleasure?
America at War, please.
All right, the questions deal with $300, the American Revolution, $400, the Vietnam War, and $500, the Civil War. It's time to place your wager once again. Civil War is the holdout. The Vietnam War is for Lance and Cheryl Ann. Step up to the challenge. On August 7th, 1964, the United States Congress authorized military action in Southeast Asia by what congressional resolution?
The Tonkin Resolution?
That is correct for $400. Adela? For
we have more
$500.
information, please, on that.
I beg your pardon, more. The judge is interrupting. Please, what did you say?
Tonkin Resolution?
Can you give me one more
The
word?
Gulf of Tonkin
That
Resolution?
is right. All right. The judge is wicked sometimes. You got your money. Adela, in the first major battle of the Civil War, the South defeated the North at Manassas Junction. What's the more common name of that battle?
Bull Run.
You got that for $500. Congratulations. Now, that sound tells us we're about to move into our final challenge round of the day, and in this round, you'll be able to wager any or all of your monies in your account on one final question of your choice, and the player making the highest wager will get to answer that question. If you're ready, here is your final challenge of the day. It deals with all about Belgium. All right, let's see what kind of questions we have here. We're going to post the odds in the questions. The higher the odds, the more difficult the question will be. Here are the questions. The first one deals with the artists at even odds. Your wager the second time around will pay off twice. International affairs, 2 times your wager, and for 3 times your wager, the history. Please select one and place your wager now. And remember, you're betting with your own money, so wager very carefully. You'll have 20 seconds to select your question and make that final wager of the day. Good luck. Look at what we have here. Cheryl Ann with $2,100 and the other 2 players with $2,350. Cheryl Ann, we'll start with you. Please declare how you're going to play this. You're going to bet it all? You're going to keep some of it? What's happening?
I'm going to bet $250.
And how did you place it? On what category?
The artists for even.
Would you punch that button again? Let me see if it'll pop up on your screen. There we go. All right. For $250 at even odds. Lance, let's move over to you. You've got $2,350. It's all yours. How much are you going to wager?
I bet $350 on the history.
Will you punch it in there? Let's see it. Okay. And Adela, last but not least, of that $2,350 that's yours.
I wagered $1,500 on international affairs.
Whoa, all right. Now look at what we have. Everybody's in. Artists, international affairs, and history questions coming up in a second. We'll be right back to play the final challenge in a moment.
Back to the final challenge, and here's your host, Jake Clark.
We're all set to play the final challenge. I'd like to point out that the money our players accumulate in their accounts today will have a very special value. And Don, will you tell us about it, please?
Yes, sir. All of today's players will receive their winnings in a Citibank Visa account. They get the distinct benefits and exclusive service that only Citibank provides.
This is going to be a hot and heavy race. Cheryl Ann, you bet a lot of money, and you can come out with $2,350. If you fail, it'll be $1,850. Look to the video wall. The painting titled The Garden of Love is one of the masterpieces of a great Flemish artist. Name him.
Who is Rubens?
Rubens is right. All right. We'll move on now to Lance. If you come out with this, Lance, it'll be $3,400. The question on history. One of history's great battles was fought in Belgium. The losers called it Belle Alliance. But the victors under Wellington gave it a more familiar name. What is the English name?
Waterloo?
You were right, sir. You've got $3,400. This is the killer, Adela. If you get this, you come out with $5,350 and the win. Besides being the capital of Belgium, Brussels is also the headquarters of the EEC. What do the initials EEC stand for? EEC. The European Economic Community, you end up with $850. And Lance, you are the winner of the day. Congratulations. Thank you ever so much for being with us on the Challengers. Lance, you'll be back to play with us on Thursday of this week to meet new players. We'll see you then. For now, Dick Clark. So long.
Some contestants today will receive found as full teachers remain. And they will continue to demonstrate their knowledge as they compete for thousands of dollars in cash awards. Our Teachers Tournament, a battle of knowledge and strategy, continues here on The Challengers. And now, here is your master of the challenge, Dick Clark.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to the Challengers. It's day number 2 of our tournament. We started with 9 competitors, and we're now down to 7. And as you know, we already have one finalist, Lance Shana. And we'll have a semifinal match or 2 to come up. And the 3 winners will finally advance to our finals, which we played on Thursday and Friday. Everybody gets to keep the money they earn, and the champion will win an additional bonus of $10,000. Thank you, folks. We will see you tomorrow. Everybody's all set, and let's get ready to play the semifinal match. And Don, will you please introduce us to the players?
Dick, this is a high school teacher from Burbank, California. His hobbies are art and photography. His name is Alex Landy. Here's a teacher librarian from Scottsdale, Arizona. She's into all kinds of games. This is Christine Hawes. And an elementary school teacher from Irvine, California. He plays tennis and golf. Meet Steve King.
Good luck to all of you, folks. In just a moment, I'll reveal the categories for our first half of play, but first let's play the Challenger Sprint for Control, and this is the way it works. We'll set the timer for 1 minute, and during that time period, I'll toss you as many questions as time permits. You'll get $100 for each correct answer. If you're wrong, however, we'll take away $100. The player with the most money when time runs out will have the first selection from the category board, and for each of you, we've opened your own personal Citibank Visa account. Every dollar you earn in the game today will be deposited to your account, and the money and the benefits that go with that account are yours to keep. If you're all ready and set to play, we'll set the timer at 1 minute. And we will now begin. What kind of animal is featured in the title of the French children's classic, The Story of Babar? Steve?
Elephant.
Yes. Canadian kids know the answer to this one. How many provinces are there in Canada? Christine?
12.
That's not right. Anybody else? 10 is the answer. Given the name of the deceased CIA director associated with the infamous Steve.
Casey.
Contra affair. Casey, right, is in President Kennedy's, John F. Kennedy's name. What does the initial F stand for? Steve.
Fitzgerald.
Correct. Whom did John F. Kennedy defeat in the presidential election? Yes, Alex.
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon in 1960. When John F. Kennedy took office, who was the premier of the Soviet Union? Alex.
Nikita Khrushchev.
That is correct. Name the youth organization whose title stands for Head, Heart, Hands, and Health. Christine.
4-H.
That is correct. The Merry Men from Sherwood Forest were an adventurous group. Name their leader. Steve.
Robin Hood.
Yep. What is the real name of author Mark Twain? Christine.
Samuel Clemens.
Correct. What's the familiar Latin phrase which means? And I believe we're out of time. All right. Steve, you're hot. You're off to a flying start. Got $400. Alex in there with $200, and Christine with $100. The game has just begun. That's just a little bit of a starter. We're all ready and set to play the first half. This is the way it goes. You'll be out maneuvering and outguessing each other for the right to answer the questions that'll appear on our video wall. We'll play 2 halves. Then we'll move into our final challenge round where we'll determine today's winner. We're all ready. Christine, don't be discouraged by the 100. You can pick that up in a second. If you're all ready to go, let's take a look at the categories for the first half of play. They are Arlington National Cemetery, the year 1984, stately recipes, poetic expressions, Doctor, Doctor, religious ABCs. And we turn now for the first selection, and it's Steve. If you will, please, you've got control of the game.
Let's go with Arlington National Cemetery.
All right, let's see what the questions are valued at $150. The first one is a man, the next one is a mast, and the third, a monument for $250. More money, the more difficult the question. Please select one and place your wager. All right, two people going for a man. That's Christine and Steve, and we'll have you step up to the challenge in a half a second. Alex, you stand by. All right, Christine and Steve, for $150, a simple white wooden cross. Oh, Steve, I didn't finish that question. I hope you know the answer.
Robert Kennedy.
You're psychic. The only one in Arlington marks the New York Senator's grave. Name him. You got it. Alex, you're all by yourself with this one for $250. The Honor Guard Company of the 1st Battle Group, 3rd Infantry from Fort Myer, keeps a sentry posted 24 hours a day at what famous monument?
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
You are absolutely right. Alex, you've got control of the game. Let's go back to the board and select one, if you will.
Well, let's try the year 1984.
All right, the questions this time deal with, for $150, the 1984 Olympics, 1984 Academy Awards, and Orwell's 1984 is worth $250. Select the one you want to play, and please wager. 2 Academy Awards. Alex, you got one? Orwell's 1984. We'll go with the players who are going for the first question over there. Christine and Steve step up to the $200 challenge. The 1984 Oscar winner for Best Actress also won a place in our heart. We liked her. We really liked her. Steve?
Sally Field.
Sally Field is right for $200. Alex, for $250, in George Orwell's novel, 1984, who is watching you?
Big Brother.
Big Brother, indeed. All right, we got a good game going here. We'll be back in just a moment to continue our game right here on the Challenges. Don't you dare go away. Back we go with the challengers, and as everybody knows, this whole week is teachers. And Alex, I understand that in addition to teaching at one time or another, you were in the Marine Corps?
Yes, that's good training for being a teacher in high school nowadays.
I asked nothing further. I don't believe this because I think I know the answer, Christine. Your students have a nickname for you?
Mm-hmm.
What is it they call you?
They call me Grandma, some of them.
And you still put up with it?
Well, sometimes they forget where they are, and this one particular day, kid looked up for help and said, and of course all the other kids picked up on
So you've become Grandma. Grandma never looked that good, I'll tell you. Steve, you're into travel. Where do you like to travel? Where have you been?
I'll go anywhere, but I went to Egypt and got to ride a camel up to the pyramid, and that's a real special memory now.
I dare say it is. Let me check what's going on here in terms of the game now. Alex, you're at $700. Steve, you're at $750. Christine, you're at $100. Actually, Alex is in control of the game at the moment, so we're going to go back to you. Let's review the subjects we've got. Stately recipes, poetic expressions, Doctor, Doctor, and religious ABCs. Alex, what's your pleasure?
Well, let's try Doctor, Doctor.
Doctor, Doctor it is. The first question this time is worth $150. It deals with Dr. Julius Erving. The next one is Dr. Jekyll, and the $250 question is Dr. Hawkeye Pierce. There's a winning combination. Pick the one you like and place your wager. Everybody's in the ring. It's a three-way race, and all of your answers will immediately double in value. That means that one's right up there at $500, and you're eligible, all of you. You'll have a chance to answer the 2 remaining questions if you get it right, and the grand total is worth $1,200. Please, hands on buzzers, step up to the $500 challenge. Dr. Hawkeye Pierce on the hit TV show MASH was portrayed by Alan Alda, who played Hawkeye in the film. Steve.
Elliot Gould.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Anybody else? Christine.
Elliot Gould.
That is wrong. Anybody else? Alex, you don't have to if you don't want to.
I've got to pass.
Okay, folks, it was Donald Sutherland. Yes, everybody jumped in. All right, that was a costly bit of business there. Alex, you're still in control of the game. What would you like?
Well, let's try religious ABCs.
Religious ABCs. The first question, again, is a $150 question on Abraham. The second one on Buddha at $200, and the third, Calvin at $250. The higher the dollar value, of course, the more difficult the question. Please place your wager. All right, 2 questions on Buddha. 1 on Abraham at $150. And Christine, you're showing a minus. That can change as the game goes. That's not a disaster at all. Gentlemen, please step up to the $200 challenge regarding Buddha. In Buddhism, the goal is to reach a state of complete peace and freedom from self-consciousness. By what name do we know? Steve.
Tranquility?
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Anybody else, Alex? Yes?
Nirvana?
Nirvana is correct. You've got it. Christine, for $150, Abraham, speaking of sacrifices, Abraham, in a test of faith, is asked to take the life of his firstborn. Name him.
Isaac.
That is correct, for $150. All right, let's see what we have here. Alex, you are in control of the game still with stately recipes and poetic expressions. Your choice, please.
Stately recipes, Dick.
All right, the questions this time regarding stately appetizers, stately entrees, and stately desserts. It's time to select the one you want and place your wager. Stately desserts and stately entrees. We'll start with you, Alex, on entrees. According to the advertising, what is it that's made with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices?
Secret sauce.
I'm sorry. That is wrong. Nobody else has the opportunity. You know it, though, Steve. What is it?
I hope Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, but you don't get any credit for it. I just want you to show off.
Okay.
They do that in class, too, you know. All right, step up to the $250 challenge. I'll describe the ingredients. You name the dessert. It's a crust of very hot meringue surrounding... Steve, I hope...
I hope so, too. Baked Alaska?
You're right. It's ice cream flavored, resting on a bed of sponge cake and be served flaming. You got a hot roll going. We'll take a little break in the action. We'll be back in just a moment to play the second half of the game. And when we do, we'll double the value of all of our questions right after this.
All news and current by Newsweek magazine. And now, back to the Challengers.
Thank you, Don, very much. Welcome back. Let's check our players' accounts here. Alex, you're out in front with $700. Christine, you're trailing with a minus $250. That is, believe it or not, terribly significant. You can change all of that readily. And Steve, you are in control of the game, and your account holds at $300. We're into the second half of play, and we'll double the values of all of our questions. Now, here are the 6 categories we're going to play with, and they are Shakespeare, Rhyme Time Animals, Safe Landings, Robin Williams, Island Hopping, and Mythology. And, Steve, you've got it. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is a good starting point anytime. Let's see what the questions are worth this time. They're $300 on who, $400 on what, and guess what? Where is worth $500. Select the one you want to play and place your wager. All right, we have 2 whats and a where. We'll hold on to you, Steve, for a half a second. Start with Alex and Christine. Step up to the $400 challenge. Robin Williams has joined forces with Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal on it. Christine?
Comic Relief.
Comic Relief is it, and the annual telethon for the homeless called what? Held annually since 1986. Put you in the positive side of the ledger. There you go. Yay! Your fans are out there. All right, Steve, where for $500 on TV's Mork and Mindy, Robin Williams played an alien character named Mork who was visiting from another planet. Name it.
Orc.
That is right. For $500. Steve, you're in control. Where does the game go now?
Rhyme Time Animals.
Rhyme Time Animals. All right. See what we have here. The $300 question is 1-syllable words, 2-syllable words, and probably 3. Yeah, that's it. 3-syllable words. Select the one you want to play and place your wager. And there's the last one. 2 guys are going for the 2-syllable words. We'll hold on to you, Christine, for a second. I'm looking for rhyming answers this time, gentlemen. Rhyming answers. Step up to the $400 challenge. Give me a pair of 2-syllable words describing a fish famous for its caviar if it had never had a love affair. The only one who's not playing that knows the answer. Christine, what was it?
Virgin sturgeon.
Yeah, but you don't get any money for it. Grandma knew the answer, guys. All right, Christine, for $500. Again, a rhyming answer. Give me a pair of 3-syllable words describing a South American rodent known for its expensive fur if it were dipped in a popular flavor of ice cream.
Vanilla chinchilla.
You got it for $500. You're back in the race. $650 for Christine, and she's got control of the game. Where do you want to go with it?
Let's try Shakespeare.
Shakespeare it is. The questions: $300 tragedies, $400 comedies, $500 histories. Time to select the question of your choice and place your bet. All right, everybody's playing a different question this time, and we'll start with you, Alex, for $300. Which Shakespearean character describes himself as every inch a king? I'm sorry, it was King Lear. For $400, Steve, on comedies, name the title shrew who was subdued by the character Petruchio in The Taming of the Shrew.
Kate.
Kate is right. For $400. Christine, for $500, histories. In the 1989, Kenneth Branagh was the star and Oscar-nominated director of one of Shakespeare's great history plays. Name it.
Henry V.
You are so right for $500. Look at this, folks. We got a race going. That sound tells us we're about ready to move into our final challenge of the day. And in this round, you'll be able to wager any or all of your monies in your account on one final question of your choice. And the player making the highest wager will get to answer that question. If you're ready, here is your final challenge of the day. Literary record breakers. And let's check out what the questions deal with. We have paperbacks at even odds. Your wager will pay twice the wager on bestseller list, 3 times the wager on advance royalties. Just a reminder, the money you have in front of you is money you have won. It is your own money, so wager very carefully. You'll have 20 seconds now to select your question and make your final wager of the day. Good luck. Serious-looking people over there. All of our players' choices have been locked in. Let's start with you, Alex. Please declare.
Dick, I'm going to go for paperbacks, even $100.
All right. And Christine, if you will, please declare.
I bet $850 on advance royalties.
Okay. And lastly, Steve, how much did you go for?
I bet $1,155 on bestseller list.
You put it all on the line. Everybody's going to have a chance to answer. Paperbacks, bestseller list, advance royalties, and we'll be back to play the final challenge in just a moment.
Stay tuned for the final challenge coming up next. Back to the final challenge, and here's your host, Dick Clark.
We are set to play the final challenge. I'd like to point out that the money our players accumulate in their accounts today will have a very special value. And Don, if you'll talk a little bit about that, please.
Thank you, Dick. All of today's players will receive their winnings in a Citibank Visa account. They get the distinct benefits and exclusive service that only Citibank provides.
Thank you, Don. Now, remember, players, you can do anything you want with the money in your account, including just turning it into cash and going out on a little spending spree. Today's champion will move into the finals of our teachers tournament that starts on Thursday of this week. And let's recap here. Alex, you have wagered $100 of the $400 you've earned so far at even odds. The subject material is paperbacks. And if you come out on top, you'll win $500. Please answer this question. First published in 1946, the best-selling paperback book of all time has sold more than 32 million copies and deals with a common-sense approach to child rearing. Name the author.
Dr. Spock?
Dr. Benjamin Spock is right. Now, believe it or not, you're not out of the game, because if the other folks run into difficulty, you're going to be right in there. Steve, we'll turn to you now. Let's see. You wagered $1,155, and if you come out at double the odds there, you'll pick up $2,310, a grand total of $3,510. On the other hand, Steve, the downside of that is if you don't do well, you end up with $45. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for you. Here is your question. One American author lays claim to having at least one of her books on the bestseller list every single week for 7.5 years. Her recent bestseller is titled Message from Nam. Name this author.
Judith Krantz?
I'm sorry. It's Danielle Steele. Christine, earlier in the game I said, don't worry about it. You got a minus situation. It's going to be all right. You have $1,150. Now you have wagered $850. If you get the answer correct, it'll be $3,700. On the other hand, if you don't do well, you'll end up with $300, and guess who wins? Good old Alex, who's sitting over there just thinking all kinds of thoughts, trying to be kind, he is. All right, here's your question. Advance royalties. One author made publishing history when publisher William Morrow & Company reportedly paid a record-breaking $5 million for the rights to his 1986 novel titled Whirlwind. Name him. I'm sorry, it was James Clavell, and guess who's won with a $500 win? Alex, it looked like it was all over. You've done it. Thank you ever so much for being with us on the Challengers. We'll see you back with us on Thursday of this week, and you'll meet 2 new opponents in our special teachers tournament here on the Challengers. Congratulations for now, Dick Clark. So long.
Some contestants today will receive Fashion for Tomorrow's Generation, Gitano Kids, a new American tradition. And Clear Eyes gets rid of the redness, and unlike the leading eye drop, Clear Eyes has an extra ingredient to moisturize, too. Use as directed. And Hershey syrup on ice cream is a favorite summertime treat. And look for the full line of Hershey's toppings for that great Hershey taste on ice cream. And what's sexy is Jovan Musk for men and for women, and new delicate Jovan White Musk. And Louisiane is specially blended for iced tea. That's why people who like iced tea love Louisiane. Available in regular or decaf.
Stay tuned to California 9 as Paula Lopez and Kerry Kilbride give you the latest local and national news on Prime 9 News at noon next.
This is Don Morrow speaking. The Challengers is a Ron Greenberg production in association with Dick Clark Productions. We reached the halfway mark in our teachers tournament. 5 competitors remain. Only one will emerge victorious. Who will it be? We'll find out as our teachers tournament continues on The Challengers. And now, here is your master of the challenge, Dick Clark.
Hi, thank you very, very much. Welcome to the Challengers. It's day 3 of our tournament, and the number of challengers is down to 5. We have 2 finalists already, Lance Shana and Alex Landy. And we have our last semifinal match standing by, and the finals start tomorrow. Everyone keeps the money they earn, and the champion will win an additional bonus of $10,000. Gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody set for the semifinal go-round. And, Don, if you will, please, they got your hands on the buttons already. Let's find out who they are, Don.
Okay, here's an 8th grade history teacher who likes to sing and fix up his bachelor buddies with dates. Meet Chris Norby. And from Canoga Park, Oakwood School, here's a teacher and mother of 2 who enjoys shopping with her children. It's Michelle Weiss. And from Santa Barbara, California, this elementary school teacher enjoys listening to oldies rock and roll music. Say hello to Ron Yoshida.
All right. Welcome, folks. In just a second, I'll reveal the categories for our first half of play. But first, let's play the Challenger Sprint for control. Here's how it works. You can relax. I've never seen 3 people more anxious to play. They're all sitting there with their claws on the buttons here. We'll set our timer for 1 minute, and during that time period, I'll toss you as many questions as time permits. $100 for each correct answer. We'll take away $100 if you're wrong. The player with the most money when the time runs out will have the first selection from the category board. And for each of you, we've opened your own personal Citibank Visa account. Every dollar you earn in the game today will be deposited to your account, and the money and the benefits that go with that account are yours to keep. Now, if you're all set, we will set the timer for 1 minute. You can put your hands on the buttons now. This is the moment, all right? Let's begin. Our 16th president lent his name to the capital. Yes.
Abraham Lincoln.
That is right. Lincoln, Nebraska, Ron. What is Nebraska's most populous city? Michelle.
Omaha.
Correct. TV host Geraldo Rivera once opened up the empty vaults of what notorious... Yes.
King Tut.
No, stop. Ron?
Al Capone.
Al Capone, notorious gangster. This 1989 film is based on the book Shoeless Joe. It stars Kevin Costner. Michelle?
Field of Dreams.
Yes, please wait for me to call on you. What two tools are represented in the flag of the Soviet Union? Ron?
Hammer and sickle.
That's correct. How many carats are contained in pure gold? Ron?
24.
Correct. Let's move to Chicago for this question. Name the world's tallest building. Chris?
Sears Towers.
Correct. Here's the math problem. What is the only even prime number? Chris?
8.
Wrong. Ron? 2 is correct. In the book, the original 3 Musketeers were named Porthos, Athos, and who? Aramis. Aramis is also the name of a cologne. Name the designer who created the cologne Obsession. Chris?
Pierre Cardin.
Wrong. Michelle?
Calvin Klein.
Correct. And I think that is the end of it. Oh, boy, you guys are hot. Woo! Ron, you're out in front with $500. Michelle, you've got 200. And Chris, don't worry about the fact you're in a minus position. It's happened before. We saw it, as a matter of fact, yesterday, where the minus score came right up there. You're going to be doing your best to be outmaneuvering and outguessing each other for the right to answer the questions that'll appear on our video wall. We'll play 2 halves, and then we'll move to our final challenge round where we'll determine today's winner. I think you folks are ready to go, so we'll waste no more time. Take a look at the categories for the first half of play, and they are Oscars I Have Known, Wake Up Call, A Dog's Life, Where Am I, Twin Talk, and Hey Bartender. Ron, you've got control of the game. Where would you like to
try Hey Bartender?
Hey Bartender, all right? Let's check out the questions for $150. Champagnes for $200. Cocktails for $300. I beg your pardon, $250. Cordials. Select the question you want to play and place your wager. 2 cordial questions the gentleman going for. Champagne goes to Michelle. Let's go to her first, gentleman. Rest easy. For $150, Michelle. Champagne is perfected by a 17th century monk whose name is now synonymous with premium champagne. Name the bubbly and you name the monk.
Dom Perignon.
That is correct for $150. Chris and Ron step up to the $250 challenge regarding cordials. Name the French cordial developed by monks. Chris, I didn't finish. Hope you got it.
Benedictine.
No, sir, that is not right. Now, Ron, I'll finish the question and you'll have an opportunity to say whether you want to take it or not. Name the French cordial developed by monks which shares its name with a particular shade of green. You may or may not answer if you choose.
Chartreuse.
Chartreuse is right. Congratulations. Ron, you retain control. What would you like to go for?
How about Where Am I?
Where am I? All right, the questions this time. For $150, Rome. For $200, Paris. For $250, London. Select the question and place your wager. 2 London questions up there. Chris, hit your button one more time for me. And, it's a 3-way race. All of our questions will immediately double in value. They have. It's $500 up there. You're all eligible to answer that question. Whoever answers correctly will have a chance to answer the 2 remaining questions, and that could mean a grand total of $1,200. You're all on the button for $500. You doff your hat as you enter, and eventually you come to Poets' Corner. You're in the... Michelle?
Westminster Abbey.
You're in the church founded almost 1,000 years ago, Westminster Abbey. Congratulations. Now, you have an opportunity to jump back over there for the Rome question for $300 or the Paris question. I got to warn you, though, if you're wrong, we will deduct the money.
I'll try the Paris question.
Paris question for $400. The shortest path from the Arc de Triomphe to the Place de Concorde is along Paris's most fashionable avenue. Name it.
Champs-Élysées.
That is correct for $400. You want to press on? The London question's worth what? Rome question, I beg your pardon, is worth $300.
Sure, why not?
Okay. For $300. The year is 82 A.D. You're about to fight a gladiator in ancient Rome's largest amphitheater. Name it.
Colosseum.
You are right. for $300. You've taken over control of the game, and we'll be back in just a moment to continue our game right here on the Challengers. Don't go away. Welcome back once again. Let's do a little checking out of accounts here. And Chris, I noticed in Don's introduction of you that you like to fix up your buddies. What does that all mean?
Well, that's right. I just got married about a year ago, Dick, and I'd like my friends to share the same bliss.
The same bliss, he said, with a glint in his eye. You're behind at the moment with a minus score. I'll tell you once again, if it's a consolation, it's nothing to worry about. It happened yesterday, and the lady almost jumped into the top spot for...
I'll hang in there.
You nothing to worry about. Michelle? What's this about college rivalry in your family?
Well, I went to UCLA, and my husband went to USC, and we had a pact on our wedding day. Sons would root for the Trojans, daughters would root for the Bruins, and I have 2 daughters. So
you arranged it.
Yes.
Ron, you're a man after my old heart. You like oldies? Yeah, people always ask me, do you have a favorite song?
Probably Blue Suede Shoes.
You like the Carl Perkins version or the Elvis version?
Carl Perkins.
The original. All right. Let's recap here. Michelle, you're in control with $1,550. Ron at $750. Chris, $350 in the minus section. You can fix that. Michelle, go to the board and select from Oscars I've Known, Wake Up Calls, A Dog's Life, or Twin Talk.
Oscars I Have Known.
All right. The questions again, dealing with $150 for Oscar Mayer, Oscar Wilde for $200, and Oscar Arias for $250. Please select the one you want to play and place your wager. 2 Oscar Mayers over there. We'll take that up, and I guess we should break that tie right now. Michelle and Ron, step up to the $150 challenge. According to the Oscar Mayer jingle, how would you spell baloney? Ron?
B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
And you didn't sing it. I thought sure you were going to sing it. All right, you got it. That's correct. Chris, for $250, Nobel Peace Prize winner Oscar Arias is the president of what Central American nation?
Costa Rica.
You are right, sir, for $250. Chris, you've taken control of the board. Which one of those 3 remaining do you want to play?
Well, I'll take Twin Talk.
Twin Talk it is.
Whatever it means.
Well, we'll find out in a half a second. The first one is Twin Cities for $150, Twin Sisters for $200, and Twin Peaks for $250. The tough one, of course, is valued a little more, and look what they did. You went for the tough one, Michelle. Gentlemen, we'll break the tie at $150 on Twin Cities. Ron and Chris, the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul in Minnesota, are separated by... Chris?
The Mississippi River.
Separated by a major river, the Mississippi. You are right, sir. Put you in the plus column now. Michelle, for $250, the popular but offbeat TV series Twin Peaks is the brainchild of the director who gave us the offbeat film Blue Velvet. Name him.
David Lynch.
You are right, for $250. Michelle, to the board, please. Wake-up calls or a dog's life?
Wake-up calls.
Wake-up calls. The questions this time deal with 8 hours for $150, 20 years for $200, and the big sleep for $250. Select one and place your wager. We have 2 20-year questions and the 8-hour question for Michelle. We'll break the tie later on, gentlemen. Let's take care of the lady first off. For $150, Michelle, taking its name from the French word to awaken, it's the traditional early morning Army bugle call. Name it.
Reveille?
Reveille is right for $150. Ron and Chris, up to the challenge on the buttons for $200 for 20 years. Rip Van Winkle snoozed, as we're told by author Washington Irving. In what New York... Oh, Ron, I hope you didn't jump in too fast. Go ahead.
Lilliput.
No, sir. You are wrong. Let me continue the question. Chris, you can have the opportunity to answer or not as you please. For 20 years, Rip Van Winkle snoozed, as we're told by author Washington Irving. In what New York mountain range did Rip slumber?
Catskills.
You are right, sir, for $200. That puts you back in the game real well, and it's time to take a little break in the action. We'll be back in a moment to play the second half of the game, and when we do, we'll double the value of all of our questions right after this.
Questions are verified by Newsweek magazine. And now, back to the...
Back and check the players' accounts here. Chris, you're full in the game now with $250. Ron's got... half a play will double the value of all of our questions. Here are the 6 categories. Mountains of the world, hot body, American painters, films of the 90s. And, Chris, what do you say?
Let's go to the top, Dick, with Mountains of the World.
Mountains of the world. All right, let's check out the questions. This time for $300, Asian. 400, European. 500, North American. Select the one you want to play and please wager. All right, Michelle, you're the holdout for the Asian question. Let's take care of that one first, and then we'll turn to the gentleman. For $300, what mountain's name can be translated as everlasting life and is considered the national symbol of Japan?
Fujiyama?
Mount Fujiyama or Mount Fuji, either one. You are right for a grand total of $2,250. Gentlemen, step up to this challenge, please, on the North American question. Name the tallest mountain. Ron?
Everest.
Say again? What did you say?
McKinley.
I'm sorry, sir. We're going to have to give that to your opponent. I asked you to repeat it, and I believe you said Everest the first time. Chris, you've won it by default. He gave you the answer. You got it. All right.
I don't know what mountain it was.
You'll take all the help you can get at this point. Chris, you're in control. Which one of these do you want to play?
Well, let's go with In the Navy.
In the Navy. All right, here are the questions. For $300, naval ranks. 400, naval boats. 500, naval quotes. Pick one and place your wager. Naval quotes for Chris and Michelle. Ron, let's take care of you first off. Naval ranks. There are 4 grades of admiral in the United States Navy. The highest is fleet admiral. Name the lowest.
Rear Admiral.
You are right, sir, for $300. Chris and Michelle, for $500, step up to the challenge. Name the American naval officer who won fame at the Battle of Mobile Bay with the... Chris?
Farragut.
Farragut said, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. You're right. Full speed ahead, Chris. Which one do you want to go with?
Okay, let's go with American painters.
American painters, all right? And let's see what the questions are. Realist, 300. Andrew Wyeth, 400. Pop artist, 500. Check the one you want to play and place your wager. Oh, no. Oh, I hate it when you do this. It's a 3-way race. All of our questions will immediately double in value. All the players are eligible to answer that question. If you win, you'll have a chance at the other 2. You're all stepping up to the, let me see, pop artist, was it? The $500 question. It's worth $1,000 now. Look to the video wall. I'll show you a painting by an American pop artist. Then you name that artist. Ready? Cue the wall. Chris has got it. He's first in.
Is it Andy Warhol?
It is not. Don't say anything. Is there anybody else want to try it? I'm sorry, time is up. Roy Lichtenstein was the painter. All right, Chris, you're in control still. Where do we go? Literary Wolfpack, Hot Bodies, and Films of the 90s.
Oh, how about Hot Bodies? I don't know what it is.
I was thinking maybe you go for that one first off. All right, the questions. They are Michelle Pfeiffer at $300, Mel Gibson at $400, and Joan of Arc, Hot Bodies. Who writes these questions? We have a 6th person on the staff here. All right, folks, pick the one you want to play and place your wager. Chris? All right. Chris is going for the toughie. Everybody's in the game. Ron, for $300. Michelle Pfeiffer received an Academy Award nomination in 1990 for what film?
The Baker Boys.
Yes, for $400.
We need more information, Dick.
Fabulous?
The Fabulous Baker Boys. For $400, Michelle. In 1980, Mel Gibson starred in a film that's been quoted as, he's called it a very classy grade B trash. We know it better as a futuristic action-adventure about an angry cop. Name the film.
Mad Max?
Correct. For $500, Chris. 500 years after she was burned at the stake, Joan of Arc became the subject of a play written by George Bernard Shaw. Name the play.
St. Joan.
You are right. You all came up with right answers. Congratulations. That sound tells us we're about to move into our final challenge of the day, and in this round, you'll be able to wager any or all of your monies on the one question that's your final choice. Now, everybody ready? The player making the highest wager will get to answer that question if you're ready. Here is your final challenge of the day. It is AAA Tour. All right. We're going to post odds on the questions, and the higher the odds, the more difficult the question will be. Here are the questions. The first question deals with Alabama at even odds on your wager. Arizona will pay 2 times your wager. And Arkansas will pay 3 times your wager. Just a reminder that you're betting with your own money. You've got to wager very carefully. You'll have 20 seconds now to select your question and make that final wager of the day. Good luck to all of you. Our players' choices have been locked in. We'll start with Chris first off. If you will please declare, what are you going to do?
Arkansas for $250.
All right, you want to press it in and let me reveal it there?
Yes, sir.
All right, $250 on the Arkansas question. Ron, if you will please declare.
Dick, I'm trying Arkansas for $500.
Oh, all right, and Michelle, you've got $2,650. It's all your own money. What are you going to do with it?
I bet $650 Arizona.
All right, that means that Michelle and Ron will be facing off here when we come on back with questions on Arizona and on Arkansas. We'll be back with the final challenge in just a moment.
Back to the final challenge, and here's your host, Dick Clark.
All right, we're set to play the final challenge. I'd like to point out that the money our players accumulate in their accounts today will have a very special value. And Don, if you will, please explain it.
Well, Dick, all of today's players will receive their winnings in a Citibank Visa account. They get the distinct benefits and exclusive service that only Citibank provides.
Thank you, Don. Remember, players, you can do anything you want with the money in your account, including just turning it into cash and running around the world with it.
Visa with it.
Today's champion will move into the finals of our teachers tournament and starts tomorrow. And Ron, you took your $800 there and gambled $500 of it at 3 times the odds on a question about Arkansas. Let's see what happens. And if I should tell you what will happen in terms of the numerical figures. If you get the answer correctly, you'll win $2,300. If you're wrong, you'll end up with $300. And we have to play it out with the other 2 people to see how it works. At the moment, we're going for $2,300 grand total. More than 5 million people a year visit this Arkansas city known as a health and pleasure resort. They're there to enjoy the natural mineral waters and baths. Name this resort city.
Hot Springs.
That's it. Hot Springs, Arkansas. You're at $2,300. Now, Michelle, you had a lot of money in the bank there so far. $2,650 went for $650 at 2 times the odds. That's $1,300. You add it all together. If you're right, you won $3,950. That means you'd win for the day. But if you're wrong, you drop down to $2,000, and Ron would be the winner. So let's play it out and see what happens. A question about Arkansas. I beg your pardon, Arizona. Tourists visiting the Grand Canyon might enter the canyon by boat, traveling down a river that carved out this natural wonder. Name the river.
The Colorado River?
The Colorado River is right for $3,950. That's it. Chris, congratulations, Michelle. Thank you, Ron. Michelle, we'll see you tomorrow. For now, Dick Clark. So long.
Some contestants today will receive Klondike Light Bars, a delicious frozen dessert with only 110 calories per bar, a tasty treat from Klondike. And Clear Eyes gets rid of the redness, and unlike the leading eye drop, Clear Eyes has an extra ingredient to moisturize, too. Use as directed. P.S. Gitano Jeanswear, comfort, value, and quality. P.S. Gitano, the jean you can live with. And play with Bicycle Premium Playing Cards, and your game looks even better. Bicycle, because your reputation is on the table. And what's sexy is Jovan Musk for men and for women at new delicate Jovan White Musk.
Stay tuned to California 9 as Paula Lopez and Carrie Kilbride give you the latest local and national news on Prime 9 News at noon next.
This is Don Morrow speaking. The Challengers is a Ron Greenberg production in association with Dick Clark Productions. reach the final stages in their battle of knowledge and strategy. A contest that will bring the victor thousands of dollars in cash awards. Stand by as we start the final matches of our Teachers Tournament here on The Challengers. And here is your master of the challenge, Dick Clark.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Don, and welcome to the Challengers. Here we go. 3 teachers remain as we start this 2-day match to determine the winner of our tournament. Don Morrow, please introduce our competitors.
Well, Dick, here's a high school teacher from Burbank, California. It's Alex Landy. A 6th grade school teacher from Canoga Park, California. Meet Michelle Weiss. And a math teacher at a community college in Claremont, California. Here's Lance Shana.
Welcome aboard. Now, before we begin, let's see how much money we've deposited in your personal Citibank Visa accounts. Alex, you snuck in there with a $500 figure. Michelle, you're at $3,950. Lance, you got $3,400. That's yours to keep. We're going to sort of put that aside for half a second. Of course, the cash you earn and all the benefits that go in your account are yours to keep. Let's clear your monies and tell you how we're going to play this 2-day match. We'll add your 2-day totals from today and tomorrow to determine the champion, and that champion will earn an additional $10,000 bonus. Not bad. Now, if everybody's set to play, we'll play the Challenger Sprint Round for control. I have the Sprint Round questions. You know the rules. We'll set the timer for 1 minute now, if you will. Get this little devil open here. I was always afraid somebody's going to seal this as a joke. If you're ready now. Oh, there we go. I've torn it apart. Here we go. Here is your first one. In what New England city could you have a beer with TV's Cliff, Woody, Norman, Michelle?
Boston.
That's the gang from Cheers. If you lived in 600 B.C., you know this city is Byzantium. What would you call the city? Yes, Lance?
Istanbul.
Today it's Istanbul, according to the Simon & Garfunkel song, Mrs. Robinson. Who does our nation turn its... Lance?
Joe DiMaggio.
It turns its lonely eyes to Joe. What 5-letter word do we use for common business-oriented language? Yes.
Cobol.
Cobol is right. What breed of dog was Rin Tin Tin? Michelle, you got it?
German Shepherd?
German Shepherd's right. Name the cat made famous by his finicky feeding habits. Lance?
Morris the cat.
He was in the Nine Lives cat food commercial. Correct. In the movie Psycho, what actor played the role? Lance?
Anthony Perkins.
He was the deranged innkeeper in the film Star Wars. Name the character played by Mark Hamill. Alex?
Luke Skywalker.
That's correct. In what Texas city can you find NASA's Johnson Space Center? Alex?
San Antonio.
Wrong. Michelle?
Houston.
Houston is right. Name the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth. Alex?
John Glenn.
Say it louder, please.
John Glenn.
John Glenn, is that all right, Judge? You beat the buzzer?
Yes, he did.
Thank you very much. All right. Woo. Just in the nick of time. Alex, you picked up $100. Michelle, $300. Lance, $500. You're all set to play our first round. Lance, you have control. You'll be outmaneuvering and outguessing each other for the right to answer the questions that'll appear on our video wall. We'll play 2 halves, and then we'll move into our final challenge round. And if everybody is ready, and I see it in your eyes, we'll get to it right now. Here are your situations. We've got up there, first off, First Ladies, Sports of the Rich and Famous, The Animal Kingdom, Radio Days, Gotta Dance, and Fabulous 50s. Lance, you've got control of the game. Where do you want to start?
I'd like to start with Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom, all right. These are the questions for $150. The first one is amphibians. The second one, worth $200, is birds. And the third, mammals, for $250. Keep in mind now, the higher the value, the more difficult the question. Players look to your personal keypad there and decide on the question you'd like to answer and secretly lock in your choice right now. 3-way race. Everybody's going for the mammal question. It is a 3-way race, and all of your questions will immediately double in value. You're up there now to $500, though, Alex, it doesn't show on your screen. That's a little technical bobble. It's there. Trust me. You'll have a chance to answer the 2 remaining questions and sweep the board for a total of $1,200. Step up to the challenge now on mammals. Things dog-related are called canine. Things cat-related are called feline. What do we call things that are bear-related? Lance?
Ursine.
You are right, sir, for $500. Lance, you have the opportunity now to jump over and pick up the remaining situations there. We've got birds worth $400 and amphibians worth $300. Remember, if you're wrong, we deduct the money.
I'd like to try amphibians for 300.
All right, the largest type of frog is named after the biggest Philistine in the Bible.
The Goliath frog.
Goliath frog is right. All right, do you want to go ahead for the other one?
Sure, what the heck?
And let's see, that's the bird question, right, for $400. Man's foul play has brought many animals to the brink of extinction. One declining species is California's largest bird. Name it.
The condor.
That's right, there are only 40 of them left in all in captivity. Congratulations. You picked up control of the game, and we'll be back in just a minute to continue our game right here on The Challenge. Thank you very much, and welcome back to The Challengers. As you know, all of our contestants this week are teachers. We talked a little bit before. Alex, I hear you're interested in art.
Very much so. I like to draw, paint, and do a little photography, and I like to travel and do those things on the road.
Sounds like you have your hands full. Michelle, the family is here. What's their reaction to all of this?
Well, my husband Lou and my parents were very proud. My daughters Karen and Mara called everybody at Taft High and at Oakwood School, and even my cats were happy.
The ratings have gone through the roof now with your family alone.
Right.
Lance, you have some kind of interesting teaching techniques.
Well, when you teach math, math can be potentially very dull, so there's some things that are really, it's very easy to make gunpowder, for instance, and if you get a large enough magnifying glass, you can boil concrete, and you can do really fun stuff like that.
You and I got to talk later on, Lance. I don't know what, this is things I need to know. Let's check your account. You've got $1,700. You're out in front with control of the game. Michelle, you're in the middle spot with 300, and Alex, you're trailing, and as we've seen before, previously this week, doesn't mean a thing. You can start from a minus. Let's continue the game now and see what we have, Lance, for you. First, ladies, sports of the rich and famous, Radio Days, Gotta Dance, and I've been saying Fabulous 50s for the obvious reason. I know a lot about that, but it's Fabulous Fables. Which one would you like to try?
I'll go for Fabulous Fables, please.
There we go. All right. Let's see what questions we have this time. The first one is for $150, Jack and the Beanstalk. The second one, 1001 Nights for $200, and King Arthur's Round Table at $250. The higher the value, the more difficult. If you will, please select one and place your wager. All right, we have two King Arthur's questions coming up in a half a second. Alex, let's deal with that $150 Jack and the Beanstalk situation. That clever English fellow Jack climbed the beanstalk and stole three treasures: a bag of gold, a hen, and a musical instrument. Name it.
A harp?
A harp is right for $150. Michelle and Lance step up to the $250 challenge. As a young man, King Arthur was the only mortal who could pull a magical sword. Ooh, I hope you know where I was going, Michelle.
Excalibur?
That's the name of the sword. You got it before I finished the question. Congratulations. You have control of the game now. Which of the remaining four subjects?
Gotta Dance.
Gotta Dance it. Oh, woman after my own heart. All right. Here are the questions. We have choreographers, followed by band leaders, followed by legendary hoofers. Select one and place your bet. Two legendary hoofer questions coming up in a second. Lance for $200. Heidi, Heidi, Heidi Ho. It's Cab Calloway, the man who first popularized the space-age dance steps, resurrected in recent years by Michael Jackson. Name it.
The moonwalk?
He was the first one, Cab Calloway, to do it, and then others followed. Alex and Michelle step up to the $250 challenge. Name the legendary hoofer who made his movie debut as Judy Garland's dancing partner in For Me and My Gal. Michelle.
Gene Kelly?
Gene Kelly's right for $250. Where do we go now? Michelle?
Sports of the rich and famous.
All right, these are the questions. The first one deals with archery, the second, polo, and the third, fencing. $150 to $250 values. Select one, please, and place your wager. Look at this. Everybody's going for a different one. We'll start with you, Alex, on archery for $150. From Cupid to Robin Hood, archers have carried their arrows in a leather holder called what?
Quiver.
Quiver's right for $150. Michelle for $200. The British first played polo in India, which might explain the unusual foreign name given to its 7-minute periods of play. What do we call those periods?
No idea.
Chukkers. Chukkers. Lance for $250. On guard. In fencing, there are three types of weapons: the foil, the épée, and the what?
The saber.
The saber is right for $250. You got control of the game one more time, and we'll be back in just a minute to play the second half of the game. And when we do, we're going to double the value of all of our questions. Don't go away.
All night by Newsweek magazine. And now, back to the Challengers.
Thank you very much, and welcome back. Let's check out our players' accounts here. Alex, you're trailing with $400. Michelle, you've got $600. Look who's out there in front. That's disgraceful. $2,100. Look, Mr. Modest. $2,150, and I don't need to remind any of you that can all change in the bat of an eyelash. We're ready to start the second half of play. We'll double the value of all of our questions, and here are the 6 categories we'll be playing with. They are, first off, novels and novelists, ancient Rome, mugshots, national parks, chemically speaking, and the Renaissance. And, Lance, you've got control. Where do you want to go?
Oh, I suppose I'll go for chemically speaking.
Chemically speaking, all right. The questions this time, the first one worth $300, liquids. The second, solids for $400. And the next for $500 is gases. Once again, very secretly, select the one you want to go with and wager. 2 liquid questions going to Alex and Michelle. We'll take care of that one first. Step up to the question worth $300. I will describe the liquid, you name it. It's really a metal. It gets its name from the Roman... Wow. Michelle?
Mercury?
Yeah, it gets its name from the Roman messenger of the gods called Quicksilver, and that's Mercury. Didn't even get a chance to finish. Lance, for $500, name the gas that makes up about 3% of the Earth's atmosphere and is believed to be a major cause of global warming.
Carbon dioxide.
You are right, sir, for $500. Once again, you've got control of the board. Which one of the remaining 5 do you want to go for?
I'd like to take ancient Rome, please.
Ancient Rome, and the questions again are valued from $300 on people, places for $4, and politics for $500. Once again, please bet. All right, across the board, we have 3 different questions to come up with. We'll start with you, Michelle, for $300. Name the Roman emperor who inspired the expression fiddled while Rome burned.
Nero.
Nero is right. For $400, Alex, this is your question. Early Christians in Rome often hid from their persecutors in a network of underground tunnels known as what?
The catacombs.
You are right, sir. The most difficult question, allegedly, Lance, goes to you. That's the one you bid for on politics. Roman politics were often a struggle between 2 classes of citizens, the patricians and another whose name meant common people. Name them.
The hoi polloi.
No, I'm sorry. Michelle knows it, but we can't give it to you. Plebeians, yes. I'm sorry about that. We take that back. Alex, you've got control of the game. Where do you want to go?
Well, let's try the Renaissance.
The Renaissance. The questions, first off, deal with churches for $300, painters for $4, noblemen for $5. It's time to wager. I thought we were going to have a across-the-board thing. The 2 church questions going to Michelle and Lance. We'll turn to you, Alex, in a second. For $300, step up to the challenge. When the Sacred College of Cardinals meets to select a pope, it gathers in an historic Vatican chapel. Name it. Lance.
St. Peter's.
No, sir. Michelle.
Sistine Chapel?
That is right. You picked it up. Alex, for $400, look to the video wall. Greek mythology fascinated many Renaissance painters, including the one who painted this classic shown on our video wall. Cue the wall now, if you will, please. This is the birth of Venus. Name the artist.
Titian?
No, sir. It was Botticelli. All right, I'm sorry about that. That costs you a little bit. However, you do control the game, Michelle, and you go ahead as soon as I can get the board up there. And those categories. We have novels and novelists and mugshots. Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been to a lot of national parks, but I'm going to take mugshots.
You're just testing me all the time. A teacher can't fail. All right. The questions are sports mugs, musical mugs, and political mugs. $300 to $500. Select one, and if you will, place your wager. All right, we'll go for the musical mugs question. Michelle and Lance, it's the 2 of you. Step up to the challenge for $400. The man you are about to see was considered one of the greatest rock guitarists of his day. Look to the video wall and name him. Cue the wall. Lance has got it.
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix is correct for $400. Alex, you're in this one by yourself for $500. The New York Times calls him one of the most powerful and effective politicians in Washington. Look to the video wall and name him. Cue the wall, please. His name?
Sam Rayburn?
No, sir, that's Senator Robert Dole. Oh, that was a killer for you. That tells us we're about to move into our final challenge of the round. And in this round, you'll be able to wager any or all of your monies in your account on one final question of your choice. The player making the highest wager will have to answer that question. And if you're all ready for the final challenge of the day, we have up there as the final challenge, great mistakes in exploring. All right? Now, I want to check one thing with my judge. Judge, Alex has a minus score. That forbids him to bid on that. Is that correct?
Yes, he cannot play.
All right, we're going to post odds on the questions, and the higher the odds, the more difficult the question will be. Here are the questions. The first question is for even odds about Hernando Cortez. Second question, the 2 times your wager is our continent. The third wager for 3 times your wager, the search for gold. The 2 remaining players, Michelle and Lance, you'll now have 15 seconds to select your question and make your final wager of the day. Just a reminder, you're betting with your own money, so wager carefully, and the challenge is yours. Time now to find out what our choices are. They've been locked in secretly. And Michelle, we will start with you. You've got $1,500 of your own money. Please declare what you're going to do.
Explorers is not 6th grade curriculum. I will declare, I will bet on our continent for $100.
Oh, you're going to play it very close to the vest. Lance, what did you do?
I went for $700 on the search for gold.
All right, let's see what happens when we come back. You go for the search for gold. And we'll go for our continent with Michelle. And when we come back for the final challenge, it'll happen right after this.
Stay tuned for the final challenge coming up next. Back to the final challenge, and here's your host, Dick Clark.
Thank you, Don Morrow, very much. We're set to play the final challenge, and I'd like to point out that the money our players accumulate in their accounts today will have a very special value. And, Don, if you'll just fill us in.
All of today's players receive their winnings in a Citibank Visa account. They get the distinct benefits and exclusive service that only Citibank provides.
All righty. And the cynics are saying at home, what about poor Alex? He's in the hole. This is a 2-day tournament, Alex. You can work that off tomorrow. You're not getting an awful lot of sympathy except for the uninitiated. We know that you'll catch up tomorrow. And Michelle and Lance, you're in the game, of course. And remember, players, you can do anything you want with the money in your account, including converting it to cash. By the way, there will be no final winner today because we'll hold the monies you win today. And when today's game is completed, tomorrow's game is over, we'll add them together and we'll determine the champion. If you are ready, we'll go now, starting with you, Michelle. You gambled $100 of the $1,500 you picked up. If you come out with it, it'll be $1,700. If you're wrong, you're still $1,400 to the good. Your question on our continent. An obscure German map maker named our continent America in honor of an explorer who he mistakenly believed was the first European to reach the New World. Name that explorer.
Amerigo Vespucci?
That is right, for $1,700. Lance, the search for gold. You have gambled $700 of the $2,250 you have in your account at 3 times the odds. If you get this one, you will have $4,350 in your account. A lot of money. In 1538, the governor of Cuba took an expedition to the mainland in hopes of discovering gold. Instead, he discovered the Mississippi River. Name that explorer. I'm sorry, it was Hernando de Soto. All right, can I see the arithmetic again? Is that correct? Lance is back to 1550. Is that correct? All right. All is well. We'll play our final match, and our two teachers tournament here will be on the Challengers tomorrow. And Alex, you got a little catching up to do. Michelle, you're out in front. Lance, you're doing all right. We'll see you tomorrow, and all will be well. It'll be a close race. I can feel it in the air. Congratulations to all of you. We'll see you tomorrow. For now, Dick Clark. Good on.
Available at Thrift.
Are about to begin their final game to determine the winner of our Teachers Tournament. Stay with us as we follow the competition and crown the champion today on The Challengers. And here is your master of the challenge, Dick Clark.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Don, and welcome to the Challengers. Here we go. It is the last day of our tournament, and our competitors are set, all ready to play the game. Don, introduce them one more time.
Well, Dick, returning with a minus $100 in his account is Alex Landy. Returning with $1,700 in hers is Michelle Weiss. And returning with $1,550 in his account, here's Lance Shana.
All right, folks, and Alex, as I mentioned, that can change. As you know, your Citibank Visa account, for the most part, are growing, and the cash you earn and all the benefits that go with it and your account are yours to keep. Let's clear your monies now and tell you how we're going to play this final match. It's the final game, and we're going to add your two-day totals to find our champion. And that champion will earn an additional $10,000 bonus. It'll be a lot of money, folks, a lot of money. You all got enough sleep, you're rested and ready to go. You're all set for the final challenge, sprint control coming up here. I've got the questions in my hot little hand. Let me explain one more time. You're ready before I am. I'll have the sprint question rounds for you. You know the rules. We'll set the timer now for 1 minute, if you please. Now, hands on buzzers. Here is the first one ready. And which department store hosts the annual New York... Whoa, Michelle?
Macy's.
Thanksgiving Day Parade. Right. What's the official and colorful nickname of the state of Kentucky? Lance.
The Bluegrass State.
Yes, sir. In the musical The Music Man, they sing about 76 what? Michelle.
Trombone.
Yes. Name the game of chance that's taken its name from the French word meaning wheel. Lance.
Roulette.
What was the nickname of tap dancer Bill Robinson? Michelle.
Bojangles.
Correct. What's the familiar name for members of the religious group known as the Society of Friends? Lance.
Quakers.
Quakers is right. Name the Minnesota senator who was vice president of... Michelle?
Hubert Humphrey.
No. Anybody else? Let me finish the question if you like. Vice President under Jimmy Carter. Yes, sir.
Fritz Mondale.
Fritz Mondale was right. Name the other senator from Minnesota who also became vice president. Michelle.
Humphrey?
That's correct. In the comics, name the bald-headed millionaire who has a henchman named Punjab. Alex.
Daddy Warbucks.
Daddy Warbucks is right. What rock star had a huge hit song and album titled Faith? Michelle?
George Michael.
George Michael is correct. You were in there before the buzzer. Whew. All right, Alex, you picked up $100. Michelle, you got $400. Lance, you got $400. You got to break that with one toss-up question. Let me pull these questions back out here. Put your hands on the buzzer. Let me see where we last left off. Right here. Ready. Name the patriot who proclaimed, "Give me liberty or give me death." Lance.
Patrick Henry.
Patrick Henry is right. You broke the tie. You take control of the game. You guys are going to put me through a lot of turmoil today, I can tell. We're about ready to play the final half, and here's how it goes. You'll be out maneuvering and outguessing each other for the right to answer the questions that will appear on our video wall. We'll play two halves, and then we'll move to our final challenge round. And it looks to me like you're all ready to go, so we'll start with the categories here for the first half of play, and they are Trials and Tribulations, The First Family, Tunes, Woody Allen films, Afro-American history, and poetic last lines. And it's Lance with control of the game. Where do you want to start?
I'd like to try Afro-American history, please.
Afro-American history, and these are the subjects up there in the questions. They are, for $150, organizations, pivotal events for $200, leadership for $250. Once again, I'll remind you to look at these. The higher the value, the more difficult the question. Look to your personal electronic keypad there. Decide on the question you'd like to answer, then secretly lock in your choice right now. All right, everybody's going for a different question. We'll start with you, Alex, for $150 on organizations. In 1909, author and teacher W.E.B. Du Bois created a group that has become America's most respected civil rights organization. Name it.
The NAACP.
That is correct. For $200, Michelle, a landmark boycott of the bus system occurred after Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white person in what Alabama city?
Montgomery.
Correct. For $250, Lance, Martin Luther King Jr. adopted a nonviolent way to protest unjust laws. Writer Henry David Thoreau used a familiar two-word phrase for this method of protest. Name it.
Passive resistance?
I do not believe that is right. According to my sheet, it says civil disobedience. I'm sorry, sir. That's a tough break. However, we got a race going, and we'll be back in just a moment to continue our game right here on the Challengers. Don't go away. By the way, before we go any further in the last run, we're dealing with Hubert Humphrey. We had a toss-up question, and inadvertently, Alex, we locked you out of that opportunity, so we're going to award you $100 to take care of that problem. Continuing along, now, you mentioned earlier in the week you're in the Marines. You're into helicopters now?
Yes, it's not that I like helicopters so much, but I figured flying was better than walking.
Fair enough. Michelle, you mentioned your family was here and all of that. Is there anybody we've neglected to say hello to in all of this week?
Well, how about all my students at Oakwood? 6th grade, hi, and all the teachers, the principal, hi, everybody.
All right, Michelle, time, and all of the rest of the United States of America. Lance, you spent a week in a monastery?
Oh, yeah, that was during the summer. It was wonderful. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Contemplation and prayer and recollection and talking with the priests and the monks. And it was at the Capuchin Monastery in San Lorenzo, and it was wonderful. I don't know why everyone doesn't want to be a monk.
We'll have to bring them on and ask them sometime. Let's check the players' accounts here. Alex, you're up to $350. Michelle, you've got $600. Lance, you're at $250 at the moment. We'll continue the game. And Michelle, you have control. We got Trials and Tribulations, The First Family, Tunes, Woody Allen Films, and Poetic Last Lines. If you will select one, we'll get underway.
Woody Allen Films.
Woody Allen Films. These are the questions. First off, for $150, the 1980s, the 1970s, $200, and the 1960s, $250. Please, if you will, now select one and wager. All right, we have two 1980s questions going there with the gentleman, so we'll start with you. The 1980s. Name the 1986 Woody Allen film in which a husband becomes obsessed with one of his wife's close relatives. Lance?
Hannah and her sister.
That's right, for $150. Michelle, for $250. Name the 1965 film written by Woody Allen, which featured both his debut as an actor and a title song by Burt Bacharach.
What's New, Pussycat?
You got it, for $250. Michelle, carrying on, what's it going to be this time?
Trials and Tribulations.
Trials and Tribulations. The questions are the batter's box, the pulpit, and the White House. Select one, make your bet. All right, two White House questions coming up in just a moment here. And if you will, Lance, answer this $200 question on the pulpit. Jim Baker went from serving the Lord to serving 45 years. His fall from grace began with the revelations of a certain church secretary. Name her.
Oh, that was,
I'm sorry, Jessica Hahn was the name. For $250, Alex and Michelle, White House aide Oliver North was convicted of illegally accepting a $13,800 burglar alarm system from an ex-Air Force general. Name him. I'm sorry, folks, it was Richard Secord. Richard Secord. All right. Michelle, you've still got control of the board. Where do we go now?
The First Family.
All right, the questions. For $150, on Eve. For $200, Adam. And for $250, Cain. There you go, the First Family. Maybe not the one you thought about, but there it is. Place your wager. And there we go, two Eve questions at $150. Alex and Michelle. According to the book of Genesis, God took something of Adam's and... Alex?
A rib.
He took a rib and created Eve. Correct. All right. Lance? For $250, according to the King James Bible, when the Lord asked, "Where is Abel thy brother?" Cain answered with his own 5-word question. What was that question?
Am I my brother's keeper?
That is right, sir, for $250. Nice round, folks. We'll be back in just a moment to play the second half of the game, and when we do, we're going to double the value of all of the questions right after this.
Verified by Newsweek magazine. And now, back to the Challengers.
Thank you, Don. Let's check our players' accounts. It's a big day. This is a Friday. This is the wrap-up time now, folks. At the moment, Alex, you have $500. Michelle at $850 and Lance at $450. It's still very close, and we're about ready to play the second half of play. We're going to double the value of all of our questions, and here are the 6 categories we'll be playing with, and they are: first, Masked Men, Hell's a Poppin', See the USA, Grab Bag, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Shutterbug. And the gameplay is controlled by Lance. If you will, select one and we'll get underway.
I'd like to try Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, and the questions this time are worth $300 for Earth, $400 for Wind, and $500 for Fire. Higher the value, of course, the tougher the question. Please, if you will, secretly wager, and do so right now. Look at this, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Wind, Earth, and Fire in reverse orders there. We'll start with the Earth question, valued at $300. Michelle, what do we call the science whose name means the study of the Earth?
Geology?
Correct, for $300. For $400, Alex, according to the popular song from the musical Paint Your Wagon, the rain is Tess, the fire is Joe. What do they call the wind?
Mariah.
You are right, sir, for $400. Lance, the $500 question is allegedly the most difficult. It's on fire. Name the Roman god of fire.
Vulcan.
You are right, sir, for $500. Congratulations. Lance, what's it going to be?
We'll go for Hell's a Poppin'.
All right. These are the questions for $300. First one, Hell's Angels, Hell's Kitchen, and Helsinki. All right, well, whatever you say, $300 to $500. Place your wager. All right, there's the holdout, Michelle, for $400 on Hell's Kitchen. Gentlemen, for Hell's Angels, questions worth $300. Hell's Angels was the first book written by the founder of offbeat reporting known as gonzo journalism. Name him. It was Hunter Thompson. Dr. Hunter Thompson, gentlemen. Michelle, for $400. Way back in 1939, the film Hell's Kitchen was a vehicle for a group of young actors featuring Leo Gorcey and Hunts Hall. Name the group.
That's the Dead End Kids?
That was the Dead End Kids. You're right. Michelle, you got it? Masked Men, See the USA, Grab Bag, and Shutterbug. What's your pleasure?
See the USA.
See the USA. The $300 question deals with license plates. $400 landmark. And people for $500. It's time to place your wager. It's another one of those little three-way races, folks. All of the questions will immediately double in value. They're up to $800 right now. You're all eligible to answer that question. Whoever answers correctly can sweep the board for $2,400. For $800, look to the screen and signal me what state you're visiting if you're gazing at this landmark. Cue the wall. Lance had it.
North Dakota.
No, sir. Michelle.
South Dakota.
South Dakota is correct. For one of a north and south there, Lance. All right, Michelle, you've got 2 questions remaining. One on license plates for $600. One on people for $1,000. You would like?
License plates.
All right. In which state would your car be registered if your license plates read the Volunteer State?
Tennessee?
You got it. All right, now. You want to roll along to that people question is worth $1,000. I do remind you, though, if you get it wrong, you lose it.
I think I'll stop now.
Stop now while you're ahead. All right. You have control of the game, Michelle. Let me see quickly now if we have anything left. Masked Men, Grab Bag, and Shutterbug. What's your pleasure?
Let's try Shutterbug.
Shutterbug it is. These are the questions valued at $300. Cameramen, camera makers, and camera women for $500 there. Please select one and place your wager. All right, 2 cameraman questions coming up for Michelle and Lance for $300. Look to the video wall and name the pioneering photographer who took these pictures. Cue the wall. Time's up. I'm sorry, folks. It was Matthew Brady in the Civil War period of time. All right, for $400, Alex, name the man who invented the Polaroid instant camera.
Land.
Land is right. You are correct, sir, for $400. Alex? you've got control of the game now. We have masked men and grab bag as the remainder questions.
Well, let's try masked men.
Masked men. All right. The questions are, first one, Jason for $400, Phantom of the Opera for $500, Batman. And if you will, please select one and place your wager. All right, there we go. Everybody's in the race this time for the $300 question. Jason, it's your question. Alex, if you recognize this masked movie monster, tell me his favorite day and date.
Friday the 13th?
You are right, sir. For $400, Michelle, this masked music maven lives in the catacombs of an opera house in what city?
Paris.
You are right. For $500, Lance, in the movies, Batman was played by Michael Keaton, who played him on television.
Adam West.
You're right, and that sound lets us know that we're about ready to move into our final challenge of the day. In this round, you'll be able to wager any or all of your monies in your account on one final question, and the player making the highest wager will get to answer that question. If you're ready, here is your final challenge of the day. It is esteemed educators for our teachers, folks. Yeah. All right, one last note. We're going to post odds on the questions, and the higher the odds, the more difficult the question will be. Here are the questions. The first one is primary education at even odds. The one on secondary education will return 2 times your wager, 3 times your wager on the university. Good people, you now have 15 seconds to select your question and make your final wager of the day. A little reminder, you are betting with your own money. Wager very carefully. The challenge is yours. Locked in, ready to go. Lance, if you will, please, let's check in with you. You've got $650. What have you done?
I went $650 on the university.
All right, the whole hog there. Alex, you've got $1,600 of your own money. How are you going to play?
$150 on secondary education.
$150, very close to the best. And Michelle, with $3,350, what are you going to do?
I'm the biggest chicken in the world. I did primary education for $5.
All right, look at this. Everybody has an opportunity to enter a race this time on primary education, secondary education, and the university. We'll be back to play the final challenge in just a moment. It's a biggie.
Final challenge, and here's your host, Dick Clark.
Thank you, Don Morrow, very much. We're ready to play the final challenge, and I'd like to point out that the money our players accumulate in their accounts today will have a very special value. Don, tell us about it.
Right, Dick. All of today's players receive their winnings in a Citibank Visa account. They get the distinct benefits and exclusive service that only Citibank provides.
All right, remember, players, you can do anything you want with the money in your account, including converting it right into cold, hard cash. And when this final challenge is completed, we'll add your 2-day totals to determine the final champion of our teachers tournament. Alex, let's see what you've done. Got $1,600 today. You saw fit to place $150 at 2 times the odds on the subject of secondary education. If you come up with it, you've won $1,900. The personality and passion of an East L.A. calculus teacher was brought to the screen by actor Edward James Olmos in the inspiring 1988 movie Stand and Deliver. For $1,900, name that inspiring teacher.
Jaime Escalante.
You are right, sir. Congratulations. Lance, you had $650 in the till. You took the whole kit and caboodle at 3 times the odds on the university question. If you get it right, it's worth $2,600. In 1881, prominent black educator Booker T. Washington founded the Alabama-based institute for which he was to serve as an administrator and instructor for the next 33 years. For $2,600, name that institution.
Was it Tuskegee Institute?
You are right, sir. Congratulations. Michelle, you started with $33.50 and you gambled a big $5. I'm not even going to talk about this. for $3,355. She was the first woman in Italy to receive a medical degree from the University of Rome, but this educator is best known for her innovative and individualized teaching methods. Name her.
Montessori?
You are right. Congratulations. Now, that's it for the moment. Let's check your accounts to determine your two-day totals and who will be crowned the champion and receive a $10,000 bonus. Alex, you have $1,900 so far. Let's check the two-day total, and it is $1,800. We picked up that minus 100 from yesterday, so it shows you how far you can go from a minus position. Lance, you currently have $2,600. Your two-day total is $4,150. And Michelle, let's check the two-day total for you. It goes from $3,355 to $5,055, to which we add $10,000. You are the champion. Congratulations. It's been a great week here during Teachers Week. Congratulations to our champion, and our thanks to all of our competitors. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday here on the Challengers. For now, Dick Clark.
In the Cooks Hall of Fame, another winning